Hello, and welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be a very self-indulgent video. Does my shirt give anything away? So we are going to be talking about musicals today. And if you know anything about me, you know that I absolutely love musicals and I'm kind of obsessed with them. So I've got my Be More Chill shirt on. I got myself some tea in my little Dear Evan Hansen You Will Be Found mug. So I decided to make this video to talk about some musicals that I love. If you're looking for new musicals, if you're looking for new musicals to listen to or check out, I mean, not new, but new to you, you know what I mean? I'm over-explaining that. If you're looking for some more musicals in your life, you've come to the right place, basically, is what I'm saying. I've made a list of some musicals that I absolutely love. I'm going to be talking about them, clearly. I'm going to speak about what they're about, some of my favorite songs from the musical, and also some ways that you can consume them. And I don't mean for the musicals. I mean ways that you could appreciate them or experience them without having to go see them or spend a lot of money to experience them. Because a lot of these were books before, or they have movies. And so you can enjoy them without actually going to see them. And also, I'm not talking about bootlegs. If you're looking for bootlegs, this is not the place to be. And can my dog please stop drinking water because that is kind of loud. I actually have a full notebook. It's all about musicals. You're in for a treat today. So first up, I do have Be More Chill to talk about. I know you're kind of sick of Be More Chill because that's all I ever talk about. I saw the show twice in New York on Broadway in their closing week. I actually have a vlog about it that I will link below. It was one of the best days of my life. Like, meeting Dan and Phil. Be More Chill, right there underneath it. So if you don't know what Be More Chill is about, it's about this kid, Jeremy here, who is basically trying to get through high school and trying to learn how to blend in and fit in and succeed in life. And he finds out that there's this pill he can take called a squip, which is a supercomputer that travels through your blood into your brain, and it tells you what to do. It tells you how to be more chill, basically. And it's really funny. It's really great. The music is fantastic. I really love the characters. I feel like Michael Mell, who is played by George Salazar, very much stole the show from Jeremy here, who was played by Will Rowland, who I feel like is doomed to be a side character throughout his entire life because, I mean, let's be real here. Jeremy was the main character, but Michael kind of ended up taking over. Especially with the fan base. We also have the Squip, who he's our villain, but he's also kind of hilarious and fantastic. And then you have the love interest, which is Christine, who is so funny and weird. And one thing that I absolutely love about the entire musical, specifically the musical, is that the entire time the Squip just seems to be confused as to why Christine is so weird but still somehow manages to be kind of cool. Be More Chill was based off a book by Ned Vizzini, which I enjoyed thoroughly. There are a lot of differences between the book and the musical, but I think they're both great in their own way. And the source material is still very similar. It's similar enough to be like, oh yeah, this was definitely based off that book. And I mean, that kind of just happens where you have a source material, you want to make something else out of it, it does change a bit, which is normal and fine, and it ended up being great anyway. So it's a book, and that's one way you can consume it. And there's also a soundtrack. There are actually two soundtracks, because there was the soundtrack with the original cast recording, and then there's also a soundtrack with the original Broadway cast recording. A lot of the cast, some of the cast members from the original recording stayed on, like George Salazar and Stephanie Hsu, but we did lose Will Conley as the original Jeremy here and got Will Rowland instead, which is okay with me because if you know, I absolutely love Will Rowland. I think he's precious and deserves more credit than he gets. So if you're interested in the musical, I recommend reading the book because I really enjoyed the book, but if you're not into reading, the original recording of the original soundtrack is amazing, and so is the original Broadway soundtrack. And some of my favorite songs from the Broadway one would be More Than Survive, The Pitiful Children, Michael in the Bathroom, Voices in My Head, and then the ever underrated Loser Geek Whatever. I love More Than Survive because that song literally got me through working my job. Like, I listened to that every morning, and is the one thing that got me through a 50-hour work week of being screamed at by strangers. I love The Pitiful Children. for many reasons. I love the Squip. Like, I am so sorry. I love the Squip. He was so cool. I loved him in the actual show. Like, oh my gosh, The Pitiful Children. That was my favorite part of seeing the musical. Like, ugh, blow me away, honestly. Michael in the Bathroom. Everyone loves that one. It's fantastic. There's a reason why everyone loves it. I think it gets all the attention it deserves, and I think it actually needs some more, honestly. Voices in My Head is the song they played at the end, and there's actually something really kind of bittersweet about it. The author of Be More Chill, Ned Vizzini, he was helping with the production of the musical for Be More Chill. It was actually his idea to make it into a musical, and he killed himself right before he got to see one of the first drafts of the script, and they didn't have an ending yet. Ned Vizzini loved open endings, and so Voices in My Head is actually a song that they actually wrote, like, to honor Ned, because they left it with an open ending. I love that song. I love the harmonies in the song. I love so much about it, but I also love that they did it like that to give it an open ending for Ned, because they knew he would appreciate it. Loser, Geek, Whatever. I feel like that song's kind of underrated, and it's a really cool song because throughout the musical, you're watching Jeremy and you just kind of look at him and you're like, wow, Jeremy, he's a jerk. And then Jeremy has his big solo where he sings Loser, Geek, Whatever, and you kind of understand him more as a character. So I feel like that song is super important, but it's so looked over because, I mean, you've got Michael in the Bathroom and then you have Loser, Geek, Whatever, and they're kind of on the same level, but Michael in the Bathroom goes way up and then Loser, Geek, Whatever just stays here, and no one ever talks about Loser, Geek, Whatever, but I do love that song, and I think it was a very important key to add into the musical for the Broadway version. And I'm gonna shut up because we have more musicals to talk about. My grandmother interrupted me while I was filming. How rude. So next on the list we have Dear Evan Hansen, which, if you know anything about musicals, Dear Evan Hansen's a pretty big one. It's pretty popular. I've been lucky enough to see it twice. I saw it once when they went on tour and they came to my hometown, and then I saw it a second time at their home at the Music Box Theater when I went to New York earlier this year for Be More Chill. This was the first musical I got really obsessed with. The musical that actually got me into musicals is Sweeney Todd, which we'll talk about later. But I love Dear Evan Hansen a lot. If you don't know what it's about this kid Evan who has really bad anxiety. He doesn't have any friends and he's trying his best to get through life. He has this crush on this girl, Zoe Murphy. He is hopelessly in love with her. And it kind of comes around to bite him in the butt a little bit. Because Zoe has a brother. His name is Connor Murphy. He's a very depressed individual, very angry. He takes it out on other people all the time. Best way to put this without many spoilers, if you care about spoilers. Connor ends up taking a letter from Evan. From then on, Evan kind of gets caught in this web of lies. And it's very entertaining to watch and hilarious, but also relatable. The show talks a lot about depression, anxiety, suicide, mental health in general, so if you're sensitive to those things, this musical might not be the best. One of my favorite authors actually went to go see the show, and then he had to leave once he realized it was about suicide. It's a great musical. It is beautiful. It was fantastic. There is, of course, an original Broadway cast soundtrack, which is phenomenal, and it is written by Justin Paul and Benj Pasak. I think I said their names wrong. I'm so sorry if I did. There's that. There's also a script and then a book. So you've got lots of ways to enjoy this musical. And I really recommend reading the script and also the book before seeing the show, because that kind of fleshes out the characters more. In the show, you kind of just get the surface view of all the characters. The show's still great, but they didn't really have a time to flesh out the characters all that well with how much was going on. Hello. So I do recommend reading the book. Some of my favorite songs from the show would be Waving Through a Window, which is the most popular song, but honestly, I love it. I've literally been listening to this song forever since it came out, like nonstop. I listen to that song at least twice a week, and I'm still not sick of it. I love Sincerely Me. I love the dance for Sincerely Me in the show. That is one of my favorite things. It is fantastic. Words Fail is also one of my favorites. It always makes me cry. I think it's just it's a beautiful song. I love that one. You Will Be Found makes me cry. And lastly, I have a song that did not actually make it into the show, which is Going Viral. Now, Will Rowland, who was also in Be More Chill, is in Dear Evan Hansen. He plays this guy that kind of helps Evan called Jared. And Jared never got a solo. in the entire show. He was in Sincerely Me and Good For You, but he never really had a song. But they did write him a song called Going Viral. There is like one performance of it in 3 different videos of that same performance on YouTube, and it is so funny. That song is so funny to me. I love it. I think it is hilarious. I don't blame them for not putting it in the show, but I still appreciate it, and I think it is so funny. Just, you should go check it out. After you listen to the Dear Evan Hansen soundtrack, you should check out that song. I think it's so funny. So yes, Dear Evan Hansen. Big ol' thumbs up for me. Next, I'm going to talk about Hadestown, because I really appreciate this musical and what they're doing with it. I haven't seen anything from Hadestown. I mean, I've listened to the soundtrack. I know a bit about the cast. I really like the soundtrack. I really want to see the show. I'm hoping to see it sometime next year, because that would be amazing. Please let that happen somehow. Oh wait, they're going on tour. That is the thing. They are going on tour. Hopefully I can see them on tour. Okay, problem solved. But yes, I really want to see it, and they are going on tour next year. I forgot about that. But Hadestown is, of course, a musical about the tale of Orpheus and Eurydice and Hades and Persephone, and I think it's a very interesting musical. It actually took me a while to get into the soundtrack for it, because the song setup for it is very unusual. It's very interesting. It's very pretty once you actually get into it, but I did have to listen to the soundtrack a few times before I got really like sucked in and into it. I heard Wait For Me first, and I love that one, and I only listened to that song for the longest time, but then I did gradually fall in love with the entire soundtrack. From what I've seen, I love the set of the stage, I love all the costumes. I've seen some clips here and there of the show that they've uploaded onto YouTube, and then of course they've done a few live performances for like Good Morning America, which are really cool. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this musical once I finally do. And I have been searching everywhere to try to find any other way to ingest this musical, but I haven't really found anything else. So if you guys happen to know another way to enjoy it, you should like put links down below if there's a book or anything, because I looked and I can't find one anywhere. Some of my favorite songs from the musical are Wait For Me and The Reprise. Both of those are amazing and beautiful. I really love Why We Build the Wall, because I love Patrick's voice. I think it's very nice. It's very smooth. It's like, I don't know, it's just nice. And I love the sound of that song. I love the harmony of the workers when they sing together. I am a sucker for harmonies, okay? I am a big sucker. I just think it's a very beautifully done song. Hey Little Songbird, I really like that song as well. I also love Eurydice's voice. I think she is so cute and so adorable. Like, look at her. She's absolutely precious. Chant, of course, is fantastic. And also, I really love Come Home With Me, because I think that song is so funny. Hermes is telling Orpheus, like, don't come on too strong. You're introducing yourself to Eurydice. Don't come on too strong. You know, just be like really chill and relax. And he goes up to her and he's like, come home with me. And she's like, who are you? The man who's gonna marry you. I just think that is so funny. It cracks me up. That entire song cracks me up. But also it's very sweet, sad musical. Also the guy who plays Orpheus, Reeve Carney, when they do the song number for Wait For Me, one of the performances, he actually got hit with one of the lamps. He didn't get hurt, like he was okay, but next I have the one literally everyone in the world knows about, which is Hamilton. I haven't seen Hamilton yet. They're coming to my hometown next year, and they're also going to Atlanta, Georgia, to the Fox Theater, which I might go to that one. I'm seeing it next year. It is happening. I am trying to prepare myself. I mean, I think everyone knows what Hamilton's about. It's about Alexander Hamilton and his life, roughly. From what I understand, Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote the musical and also played Alexander for the longest time, he did his best to fact-check everything. So it is actually a very educational musical. Like, you wouldn't expect that. You'd expect them... Of course, there are some artistic licenses taken, but overall, like, it's pretty close to the source material, which is pretty neat. But yeah, haven't seen it yet. Hoping to see it next year. Super excited to see it next year. Ways to appreciate Hamilton would be, of course, the original Broadway soundtrack. There are videos everywhere of Lin-Manuel Miranda and some of the dances, which I'm refusing to watch those. I'm not watching them until I see the show. But there is the book on Alexander Hamilton's life by Ron Chernow. Chernow? I don't know how to pronounce his name. You know who I'm talking about, though. He wrote this very large biography about Alexander Hamilton and his life. It's actually on my bookshelf back there. It's a thick book, very thick book. But that's a good way. That's actually the book that Lin-Manuel Miranda he read while he was writing the musical. So definitely check that out if you're interested. There's also Hamilton the Revolution, which is like the book about the musical, which I have actually read and thoroughly enjoy. It is so cool. There's commentary by Lin-Manuel Miranda about how he wrote certain things and the song choices, and it's just great. So yeah, there's a couple ways to ingest it. My favorite songs would be Nonstop, wait for it, The World Was Wide Enough, because I am a sucker for sad songs. I love sad. Give me all that sad. I love to suffer. You'll Be Back, because I think it's so funny. I just love it. Also, Lin-Manuel Miranda, he wrote You'll Be Back when he was on his honeymoon, which is so funny. It's just hilarious. The Room Where It Happens, because it is so catchy. I mean, I love so many of them, but those are some of my favorites that I listen to the most. Also, I can do the rap for My Shot, which is not a super important skill. It's not a very uncommon skill, but I'm still proud of myself for being able to do it because I get tongue-tied speaking normally, so the fact that I can do that is a miracle, honestly. Especially the part of these New York City streets get colder, I shoulder every burden, every disadvantage I have learned to manage, I don't have a gun to brandish, I walk these streets famished. The fact that I can say that and not mess up is a miracle for me. Next I have Les Mis, which another one I'm hoping to see next year. So they do it every year at my local Peace Center, but I haven't been fortunate enough to get tickets, but next year. They're having a show on my birthday. I love the movie for it. Hugh Jackman is in it. I love Hugh Jackman. I adore that man. And he's in Les Mis in the movie? I haven't read the book. I really want to get around to reading the book, but it is a thick book. Les Mis follows the life of this prisoner called Valjean. He gets out of prison, he's on probation, but for the rest of his life, he's going to have like this red mark on his record that's going to make it hard for him to work, to live, to get by. And so he hides his identity, and it's about him going through life and into the revolution. During this musical, Jean ends up adopting the daughter of a woman who died after being forced into prostitution to try and provide for her daughter. It's a very sweet story. It's heartbreaking, but very sweet. It's very beautiful and very well done. There's a movie, there's a book, and again, hoping to see it next year at the Peace Center. I'm very excited to see it. One of my favorite songs is, of course, Do You Hear the People Sing? Because it's just such a beautiful song. It's the sound of it and everything. It just makes everything happy in my brain. I also love Valjean's soliloquy. I listen to that one a lot. I actually sing that one to myself a lot. Empty Chairs, because it is so sad. Also, Newt Scamander is in it, and he sings, so that's a thing too. I also love ABC Cafe, Red and Black, because the harmonies in it, I got a thing for it. So next, I have Sweeney Todd, which is actually what got me into musicals. So I came across this movie because I loved Pirates of the Caribbean. That has always been one of my favorite movies. I can't tell you why specifically. It makes me happy. It's just a fun movie. Also, I mean, as controversial as it is, I love all of them. I love all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Also, I think the last one had one of the best soundtracks because of Salazar's theme. I think that was what it's called. Oh my gosh, that gave me chills every time I heard it. That score. Oh my gosh, I think that one had one of the best soundtracks. I mean, of course, the original was great too, but a lot of the original score was also on the last one, and so we've got that one and also a couple new ones, and just, anyways. I love Pirates of the Caribbean, and so I was like, okay, cool. And then I heard about Sweeney Todd. I love very dark things. I love horror, okay? I'm a big fan of horror. Nothing scares me, though. Literally nothing scares me. Horror movies don't scare me. I just enjoy them. I think they're very fun. If I don't know what I want to watch or I don't know what I want to listen to while I'm drawing, I'll actually put Saw on in the background, like all of the Saw movies, because they don't affect me. I just think they're fun. Which is probably a weird statement to make and no one agrees with me, but anyway. Sweeney Todd is about this man, Sweeney Todd, who is wrongfully put away because this man in power has a thing for his wife. So Sweeney Todd gets put away, and then he comes back to London years later. He's like, I'm seeking vengeance on this man who has taken my wife. Also in the movie, so many of the actors from Harry Potter are in it, which is kind of hilarious. And he ends up going to this shop, which is taken over by Miss Levette, who is a woman who makes very terrible food. And so they end up coming up, they end up baking people into pies, just to put it bluntly and get it out there. He's called the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. He has a little barber shop upstairs. He kills people, sends them down to Miss Lovett, and she makes them into meat pies, and then business starts booming. It's a thing. It's a full thing. Anyways, yeah. I really enjoyed that movie, and that movie's actually what got me into musicals, because for the longest time, I thought, like, the only movies that really had singing in them were, like, Disney movies, like Aladdin or Lion King. Like, I didn't know musicals were actually a thing. Yeah, so that got me into musicals, was Sweeney Todd. Also, Will Rowland. So, I love Will Rowland. Okay, we got that out of the way. It's fine. Okay, so, he said once in an interview that one role he would absolutely love to have was he would love to play Sweeney Todd. I really want there to be a, like, I just really want there to be some version of Sweeney Todd out there where Will Rowland could live out his dream, because I think he would be great as Sweeney Todd. I would love to see that. Like, please, like, somebody make that happen. Please, someone cast Will Rowland as Sweeney Todd. My life would come full circle, because this was the movie that got me into musicals. This was my very first musical that got me, like, really into it. So if Will Rowland could play Sweeney Todd, my life would be made. There's a movie, I think there's a book for Sweeney Todd. I don't know for sure, but I think there is a book. And some of my favorite songs would be A Little Priest, which is a song that they sing about baking people into meat pies. It's priest, have a little priest. Is it really good? Oh, it's too good, at least. I have that song in my head a lot while I'm baking, which is not fully appropriate, yet it is. Not while I'm around. I think that's a very beautiful song, but it's also very creepy. It's very sweet because Miss Lovett and Sweeney Todd end up kind of adopting this young boy and taking care of him. He's an orphan, and he absolutely loves Miss Lovett. He loves her so much. It's just really sad because, like, this little boy, he's just singing about, like, nothing's gonna harm you, not while I'm around. Nothing's gonna harm you, no sir, not while I'm around. Demons will charm you with her smile for a while, but in time, nothing can harm you, not while I'm around. It's such a sweet song. It's really pretty. My friends and Johanna, because Joanna's a really sweet song. I really enjoyed the movie soundtrack for this musical. Newsies! I loved the Newsies. I got the chance to see it recently at my local theater. They did a fantastic job. The choreography for it was amazing. There's a movie for it, but I haven't seen the movie, and then that was also based off of a book. So there's a movie and a book. So the Newsies is actually based on a real event, which was based off the Newsboys strike of 1899, I think. All the characters in it are fictional, but it was based off of actual events. And it follows the main character, Jack Kelly, who wants to be an artist and wants to run away to Santa Fe, but he's stuck in New York, and he makes a living being a newsie and delivering newspapers. The musical is based off of when newspaper prices raised, and so all of them did a strike, and it's a really great musical. I love the music for it, of course, as with all of these. It has the most amazing choreography I've ever seen. It's just beautiful and fantastic. Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. But yes, there's a movie. I haven't seen the movie, and there's a book, but I haven't read the book. I've literally only seen the musical, and I just saw it recently. I've heard the music for the longest time. I never read it, never saw anything of it, but then I saw it recently, and it was, oh, two thumbs up. Amazing. I love Seize the Day. I really love that song. Santa Fe is a very beautiful song. The World Will Know, Carrying the Banner, Watch What Happens. Good songs, good music. Those are some of my favorites. Yeah. I should have expected this video was going to be very long, but I didn't expect it to be this long. Next, I have the Mean Girls Broadway musical. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of skeptical about the Mean Girls musical, because I was like, how's this going to work? Like, what's it gonna be like? I haven't seen it, but I have listened to the soundtrack quite a few times. And let me tell you, it's actually really good. I didn't expect it to be as good as it is, but it is actually very good. It's actually pretty solid. Of course, there is the Mean Girls movie. Everyone's seen the movie. Everyone's seen Mean Girls. It's kind of just this in musical form. I don't know that much about the actual show, but I just really like the Broadway soundtrack. I just think it's really good. The singers are very talented. The actors are very talented. Some of my favorite songs are Apex Predator because that is so catchy and so neat. I love World Burn. I really enjoy that one. Revenge Party. A revenge party. A party that ends with somebody crushed and alone and ugly crying. Sexy. It's a really funny song. That one made me laugh so much. I really enjoyed that one. You should listen to Sexy. If you listen to any songs, listen to Sexy. It's really funny. I'd Rather Be Me is a very pretty song. That was the first song that I heard. And Where Do You Belong? It's not a very significant song in the entire soundtrack. It doesn't matter. But it is so catchy and I find it stuck in my head all the time and I just love the sound of it. I love Damien's voice. I really like Where Do You Belong? Where do you belong? Da 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 da. Next I have Beetlejuice on the list. I haven't seen Beetlejuice. I'm hoping to see it at some point. So of course there's a movie for Beetlejuice. Of course. I feel like they're adapting a lot more movies into musicals, which is fine. It's a very interesting trend. But this is actually the last musical I've actually had like any real experience with that's on this list. And obviously there's a lot more musicals out there, but this is just what I have to talk about right now. So Beetlejuice, I actually wasn't a giant fan of the movie. I mean, the movie's fine. I didn't dislike the movie. I enjoyed the movie. It's a very good movie. Like, it's a pretty good movie. But it's just not one of my favorites. I'm just not a huge Beetlejuice fan. So when I found out there was a musical, I was just kind of like, okay, I'll listen to it. I listened to it. Actually, I like the soundtrack more than I like the original movie. Which a lot of people are not going to agree with me on, which is okay. But yeah, I don't know why. I like the soundtrack more than I like the movie. I really like the whole being dead thing. That's one of my favorite songs. I think it's so funny. I think it's so funny when Beetlejuice is singing and he's literally like, I do this like 8 times a week. Like talking about doing the musical. I don't know why. That just humors me greatly. I really like Dead Mom and Say My Name is really funny. But Dead Mom's like really pretty. Like, I really enjoyed the full soundtrack. I think if you're a fan of Beetlejuice, you'll like the musical, maybe. I mean, I like the musical and I'm not even like a huge fan of Beetlejuice. So, but yeah, I think that's all I have for now to talk about musical wise. It's been like an hour. And then I also have a list of musicals that I want to check out. So I have The Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, which I'm going to be seeing this December, actually. Yay! I don't know that much about the musical, I gotta be honest. I only found out about it because Mackenzie Lee, who wrote The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, she has a writing playlist on Spotify that she wrote it to, a Gent's Guide playlist, and there was a song from the musical called Poor Monty, and so that's all I know about that. And even then, I've only heard that song like twice, and the only thing I can remember is Poor Monty. That's all I remember. That's it. But I really want to see the musical, so I think it'd be fun. And the same people who did Newsies are doing the musical, so I'm like, yeah, I'll check it out. Jersey Boys. I really want to see that one. I actually have a friend. I've known her forever. We recently kind of started talking a little bit more again, and she loves Jersey Boys. I'll actually put a link to her YouTube channel in the description. But she loves Jersey Boys, so I really want to see that one because she loves it. Also, I'm interested in it. They're actually going on tour. And they're going to be in Charlotte the first week of December. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could go. But I'm doing so much in November. And once December comes around, I don't think I'm going to be able to go because I'm going to be tired. So probably next time I go to New York, I'll see it unless something happens. I don't know. We shall see. But I really want to see Jersey Boys. I haven't listened to the soundtrack yet either. But these are some that I like want to check out that I've gotten around to yet. Waitress. I'm interested in that because I keep seeing that everywhere. The Prom, which I've been hesitant to check out because I know it closed. It closed the same week as Be More Chill. I remember that because I remember passing it and being like, maybe I should have seen that while it was opened. But then it was too late, and there you go. But I've heard a lot of good things about it, and also I found out, I think it's based off of a book because I saw a book in Barnes & Noble called The Prom, and I think it says something about it being a musical now, so I don't know. Heathers. I haven't listened to the Heathers musical yet. Haven't seen anything about it. I mean, I've seen people talk about it, but I haven't seen the musical or anything about specifically the musical. You know what I mean. I think that's it for a list of musicals that I want to check out. You should put more down in the description. I might have seen them, I might not have. Like, let's talk about musicals though. So I'm gonna end this video because I've been talking for a very long time. And also I'm out of tea, which is, you know, the sign of like, you need to stop. So yes, recommend me musicals down in the description. Let me know if you check any of these out. Thank you for watching this video. I very much appreciate you. I hope you have a good day and a good week. And yeah, thank you for joining me. And I'll see you next week with another video. Musicals, I love them. Do you love musicals? You should let me know. Are you familiar with musicals? Like, just say things down below. Okay, I'm so sorry. All right, I'm gonna go. Thank you. Bye. Hello. So amongst editing the video, I realized I forgot a very important musical that is very near and dear to me, which is The Greatest Showman, which there's a poster right back there. I forgot to mention that one because I don't know why, but my brain was like, let's talk about Broadway musicals. Musicals have been on Broadway because The Greatest Showman hasn't, so that is another musical that I love very much. I just needed to include it very quickly. The Greatest Showman is a movie that is very close to Hugh Jackman's heart. He poured his heart and soul into that musical and into that movie. He is the reason that it exists. He worked and fought for years to try and get it made, and it is a musical about P.T. Barnum's life, loosely based off of P.T. Barnum's life because P.T. Barnum was not the best person. But it makes for a fantastic movie starring Hugh Jackman's version of P.T. Barnum. So I highly recommend The Greatest Showman. It is beautifully done, and these, do you see my cat? This is what I have to deal with every day. The songs were written with the help of Jason Paul and Benj Pasek, I still don't know how to say that. And one thing that I love about the fact that Justin and Benj did the songwriting is because Hugh Jackman absolutely loves Dear Evan Hansen. And so I think it was so cool that he loves Dear Evan Hansen, always has, and then he got to work with the songwriters to work on his own musical, and I just think that's really cool. But it's a very fun movie, I'm gonna be honest. Like, it's not super original or story-wise overly, like, fantastic and life-changing. It's just a really fun movie, and it's beautiful and cinematic and just wonderful. I just love it. And songs are wonderful. Literally all of them are so great. My favorite song would be From Now On. That one always gets to me very much. I mean, I also love This Is Me, To the Other Side, The Greatest Show, Rewrite the Stars. I mean, honestly, just all of them really. I have a hard time just picking one. But yeah, I recommend The Greatest Showman. I love that movie so much. It is beautiful and one of my favorite movies ever. So yeah, okay. Also, Michelle Williams is in it, and she was in Venom, which is fantastic. But yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go now. But thank you for watching, and watching this little edition that I completely forgot about. Okay, bye.